Hi, Libra. Perfect. Let's put this here. Alright, so Libra, there's a Pisces that you know. I find Libra and Pisces are interesting combination. You're also connected to Taurus too. Okay. This card kept coming up, this cloud. Let's see. It says instructions. Let's write this down. Instructions for becoming a cloud. It says lie back and rest on the razor's edge of the earth and sky. Look up to the clouds. Now let go. That's a simple exercise. Maybe some of you will see something, see a cloud. Taurus is reading, we're going to record it again. But they saw a big, I kept seeing a big black cloud for them. You have a white cloud. So that's a good, I feel like that's a good balance. Maybe you are what helps the storm of Taurus. Or like how to recognize, like, is that a big, is there a big water storm coming, or is it like smoke just in the distance that we don't need to worry about? Like a fire in the distance. So I guess you're helping and aware of what is. Okay. Good. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your balance. You don't have to be anything but yourself. But I also sense that yourself, as well as Taurus, you both actually before received the card of persona. I guess just remember that that people have many personas. And as long as we don't confine ourselves to one particular thing, like overly define, right? Then we're saving ourselves the struggle of getting out of our own box, little box, So if you've been defining yourself in any kind of way where you're like, well, I am, I do this for a job, so this is my definition, it's like we got to kind of let go of these things, or maybe it's a writing exercise that could be helpful. Like, we're in Aries season, right? That's I am. So maybe you want to fill in kind of unconsciously who you are, because I think that's going to be a lot different than what you may be trying to define yourself as in the physical world in a certain way. Now I see people should respect you for what you do, your efforts. You should be respected for that. Okay. Guess that's the end of that sentence. Let's actually see in the shadow, Libra. All right, not yet. Let's look in the external world. I'm actually, I think what might be what we should be maybe all right, words. Let's just see what this card has to say. Okay, we have instability. Emotional instability. So some of you, this might have to do with your partner or your family or your money. Maybe all three of these things kind of connect. I'm seeing a dam, and it's like the dam breaks. Which, the dam is unnatural, right? That's stopping the flow of water. So it pools in this one place, and then it's really small and restricted in the other. It interrupts the natural flow of nature. But I feel like whatever this dam was, and this, some of you, this might have been like, damn it. I heard, don't forget to ask God for help when you need it. Ask other people for help when you need it. Okay? This could even just be emotionally, like, I need you to be here for me. You know, I heard sit, and I see someone like sitting with somebody. It's not about fixing a problem. Aries talked about that. It's so maybe when you start to feel, because it almost feels like you have this other card too here where this woman is crying. So maybe some releasing like that. Most of you are women. We release the most toxin through tears. There may be something that you really want to allow that to come. Don't try to hold that back. And if it's hard for you to cry about something to, like, again, break that kind of dam open, then remember you can use water and just kind of allow it. Put it on your face. Allow it to... I feel like you're going to be able to find something. I'm almost seeing, like, you ever go to a yoga class or, like, after a massage or something like that? Like, it could even be after a reading like this. I don't know. Depends how you connect with it. But, like, afterwards or during, there's, like, these tears that come. So maybe you need someone else to help, kind of, someone else or something else externally to help you facilitate something to release. Okay, let's actually look in the shadow now. Libra. The teeth. This is like a gold grill. And there's 3 ancient books. Oh, there's a bunch of books in the background too. Well, let's read this card. I don't want to be presumptuous. Okay, so this card comes after the spider, which is about trickster people, spinners of deceit, poisonous lies, and shrewdness. So some of you might have figured out what's got out of a sticky web in relation to something more recently. Now we're at teeth. Okay, this card also represents insecurity. So the external world and the shadow world. So you're being really honest, Libra, but I feel like you're not tripping about it. Meaning, you're not pretending on the outside to other people what's going on. You're doing your best. You're doing your best. But I feel like you don't want to necessarily hold that in all the time. That wouldn't be helpful because that dam's going to break and that's too much. So the light of the shadow of this is practicing acceptance and letting go, particularly of the past. The eighth house is their past, right? The shadow is about anguish, insecurity, clinging to one's possessions, the past, or of other people, a fear of losing one's identity, interesting, and of forgetting. It says the teeth, a vision of perfect order, offers a stark contrast to the hollowed out bookcase, the mental library in the background. The teeth symbolizes the fear of losing one's memories, the loss of identity or possessions. In dreams, losing one's teeth. In dreams of teeth, this can induce anxiety and sadness upon waking, pointing to fears and insecurities relating to a change in one's circumstances. When's the last time you dreamt about your teeth? This card suggests a desire to prevent change and to cling to the present. If this is the case, the seeker should practice acceptance and letting go. Focus on the idea that change is indeed the only constant. Now, this is the thing. I don't feel as if this is something that someone's unaware of. I keep seeing a tooth and then the tooth is loose. I keep seeing the dam and then the stones in the dam start to move. Things start to loosen that have been really tight, like really rooted. And I guess in some way or another, this water is necessary to like wash it away. Teeth are also Saturn. Do you have any of your old teeth? I don't feel like you're afraid, though. This feels accepting, but it's like, where's the water gonna go? The water's all been here. It's all been pooling here. Because I almost feel like in a way you were like the beaver, which also represents teeth. They have to constantly chew things, do things, or their teeth will grow into them. Like what is helpful to them will actually start to hurt them if they. Some of you might have been working with Beaver Medicine. It's like you have to constantly use this tool, or it grows like into yourself and it becomes a problem. It can actually kill a beaver. Of course, they're not going to allow that to happen because they understand naturally what to do. But I almost feel like you kind of built this dam. And you're like, okay, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to build my little beaver house right here. But that's the thing about beaver. The thing about beaver, Libra, is they go to places where it's very, no. Can't believe people put ads in the middle of their spiritual spaces. It drives me crazy. I'm so sorry. It's time to move on. or in the near future, you're going to move on. Again, let's go back to, all right, let's just read the beaver. But I'm going to talk about what I know about it before we get into this. How long are we recording? I wanted to try to be efficient. 15, we're fine. A beaver will usually go where it goes where it's needed, basically. And when it pools all that water, usually there's only a little tiny trickle. Sometimes there's just a little tiny trickle of water. Beaver comes, they pool the water, that builds up silt and all these really fine kinds of earth. Very soft. And then after that, after it balances that, it actually balances the environment, which is so sad because so many people think the beaver is a problem. It's like, oh, they're flooding my property. It's like, no, let's stick to the point. This is suggesting that wherever you have built your dam, built your little beaver house, now it's time to move on. Now, sometimes the beaver goes back to the same place, but it moves around so that it can balance emotionally where it is. Let's read beaver. 253. Okay, it speaks about the building of dreams, and the cycle of power is dusk and at night. So this is regular. This isn't, some animals, for instance, are just spring, just fall, the equinox, etc. It says the beaver is the largest of the rodent family. It disappeared from Europe and Asia, and now and is found now only in the Americas, in the North Americans. It says it is adapted for life in the water. It has webbed feet, and its tail serves as a rudder. It is an excellent swimmer and can stay submerged for up to 15 minutes at a time. I feel like this is an amount of time, like maybe get yourself a timer and try to just sit with I don't know, maybe you need to sit with the beaver, sit with how you feel. It says it has extra large lungs and can take in more oxygen and tolerate more carbon dioxide than humans. Because of this, beaver can also teach lessons about breath and its control for the greatest health and effectiveness. So maybe this is just breath work, breathing for 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Just pay attention to your breath. Water has been long associated with emotions and with dreams. One of the most common dreams the average person has is to have a home and a family. This dream is embodied by the beaver. It lives in a close-knit family, and beavers will mate for as long as they both are alive. If the beaver has appeared seemingly through this story, it can reflect the opportunity to build upon your dreams. Now, for some of you, you need to relax in relation to timing, because these readings take longer. Now, that doesn't mean, though, that you cannot build upon them, but this is building, it seems to be building emotionally. Okay, it says beavers are also master home builders, yes. They perform magnificent feats of engineering in the felling of trees and the building of dams. Their homes can have intricate canals, and they keep their dams in constant repair. It says the magnificent skill at building may even link those with this medicine to the ancient and mystical Masons. The study of the Masonic tradition may open many doors. The great builders. Okay, it says a beaver lives less than 12 years in the wild. It is most notably characteristic for its large incisors and its tail. Obviously, I got some beaver going on. One of the reasons the beaver is always chewing is that its teeth continue growing until it dies. Without chewing, again, the teeth would become too large and would be unable to eat. If a beaver loses a tooth, it usually dies. So when beaver shows up, proper dental hygiene and care will be essential. That's definitely something. It says tree bark is beaver's favorite diet, and the poplar and the aspen are its favorite trees. A study of the quality of these trees may provide you with even more insight. The actual tree felling is accomplished through teamwork. One beaver rests and keep watch while the other one chews. The trees are often stored in the dam to provide food throughout the winter. It's felling of trees, and this may be something too. It's like, all right, it says the felling of trees enables brush to grow, thus providing food for the deer and the moose. So that could also be animals that you're connected to or you might see around. Your memories about it. It says its dams also even make farmlands for humans, right? Yes, a beaver's pond will fill with silt. When the beaver leaves it, eventually the dam in that pond will break because the beaver isn't constantly upkeeping it, right? So it doesn't have to deconstruct where it is. It can just leave naturally. Everything will go back to nature if a person just leaves it alone. So there must be something like that in your life right now. Maybe for some of you this is specifically emotionally too. The water drains off, leaving a flat pocket of rich soil. When beaver shows up, we need to ask ourselves some important questions. Have you been neglecting your most basic dreams? Are your dreams in need of some repair work? Are you or others becoming too lost in their dreams? Meaning always dreaming but never acting upon them. Is your home in need of repair? Remember that the beaver reminds us that we have to act on our dreams to make them a reality. Taurus talked about this so long ago, right? A dream is just a dream until we make a plan and a time frame. Now, what's interesting to me, I like the way things connect. The card that comes after this is the bison, which is basically the North American buffalo. Buffalo is actually Asian, bison is North American. But one of the most important things about this is it talks about the white buffalo woman in the story, but the point here is right action joined with right prayer. That's how something happens. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, Five of Swords. You had this card in your other reading. Please don't care so much about what other people think about you. If they don't respect you, Libra, it's not about, I heard compliments. It's like, you'll know whether, like, what's real or not. But it's important to know what also makes you happy, because you, although cardinal, are very, very adaptable. It's one of your survival mechanisms, right? That's why I feel like sometimes it's hard for Libra to be themselves, or why people say, like, Libra is always, like, it's never one thing or the other. It's because you're accommodating. It's because you're one of the signs. Everyone has it in their map, but if you're going to have personal planets there, or planets there, it's like you're going to have this natural tendency to say to yourself, well, what's going on in my environment? How can I make this easier? How can it, because you realize that it's not yours. You know what I mean? You're not trying to like possess it. Like, this is my house, you live with me. It's just like, no, we live together. How can I make this easy? Again, for both of us, but please remember, try to, maybe you go back to the I am. And that's, I heard, how you can show up. Let's see what Zumi has to say. Superior. And there's the deer. Can you see that? Probably not. Sorry, the lighting's low. This is the Nine of Cups. So I heard sometimes you have to not give a shit what other people think. Or you got to shake that out some way, somehow. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like, why do I care? Why do I care about what people think that don't even care about me? Right? I suppose if you cared about somebody and they didn't care about you, yeah, that's weird. But to care about someone that doesn't even care for you, I mean, I heard love and forgive your enemy, but don't let that be heavy on you. Okay? Now, this is also the Eight of Cups. This is the Nine of Cups. So this also shows me that you move out of this instability. Here, I'll try to show you close. This is one of my favorite puzzles in the deck. Can you see? No, probably not. There. It's a very confident deer. It's a buck to me. It just doesn't have its antlers yet. Or again, they have them every year, but they also shed them every year. So you also have some superior ideas. Maybe this has to do with your dreams. Maybe for some of you, some of your dreams have to also do with money or in relation to other people and working together about things. I also sense that for some of you, this may be just something to sit with. Some of you, some of the big dreams and goals that you'd like to have, especially when they're further than you, like, you know, maybe the way you'd like the world to be. Take it as you may, but I actually see in like another life, you already achieved that. I don't know if it played out in the way that you're perceiving it in this life, but you already were a part of that, and that's why you want that again. Maybe it was a beautiful time in your timeline. Now, that isn't to say that you couldn't make it again. So remember, in even small ways, Libra, that your honesty and kindness, which I feel like are your strong suits, that makes a big difference in the world. I heard again, please do not. If you catch yourself giving too much of your happiness let me back up. Sit with the beaver, sit with the deer. I feel like they live in a similar environment. I guess this would also mean that maybe some water source near you, it's fresh water though, will be helpful. Okay. We're going to leave that like that. I hope this was helpful, Libra. Thank you for being a part of this place. Thank you for your honesty and your kindness. I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.
Bye.